Hey there, it's Lynn again. So, I want to talk to you a little bit about stress. It's so important. Now, it's one thing you get cut off in traffic, you have a stress response and you get over it, or you maybe break your leg, you have like a physical stress and you get, your body heals. It's an acute stress response. That's healthy. But what I'm talking about is this chronic state of stress. And guys, research suggests that 60 to 70% of us live in this chronic elevated state of stress. That is such horrible news, but not really that hard to believe, right? Especially in recent history and especially here in the States, after 9/11 and, the breaking news and high alert. And when you turn on the TV or you see another media, it seems like well, I would say week, but now every few days, it's another mass shooting. And or the stock market all over the place. And, those fears are ignited in us, like, it's this unsafe place and what's happening. And when you're worried about your children and you're just getting bombarded with all this negative messaging. And then on top of that, just trying to get through life and being a productive person in your career and balancing family life. And now if you add on top of that fibromyalgia or some sort of autoimmune disorder that, I get exhausted thinking about it. But guys, I've been there and I've come out the other side and it's entirely possible. So, if so many of us are living in that high state of stress, why is that so important? Well, when you have chronic stress, you are really impairing the immune system's ability to do its job. And if you're already dealing with some sort of autoimmune thing, it's just compounding that. It's exacerbating. You're creating more inflammation. Now, you already have enough inflammation in your body. You don't need more. But there's so many. And when we have stressful thinking, we have a very different chemical reaction in the body versus positive thinking and happy thinking. This stressful thinking creates like this even more redundant feedback loop of negative signaling from brain to body and then back to brain. And when we're in that state, we can downregulate genes that trigger disease. Doesn't mean you're going to get disease, but you're increasing your odds. Now, there's also this: how do we view stress? If we understand that stress can be a bad thing and then we dwell on it, that's not good. So I don't want you to dwell in it. I just want you to have some information and just be cognizant and understand that there can be consequences. So it's all about like keeping this calm. And now, before I get into some tips about that, I just want to read some statistics here. Excuse me, put my glasses on and look at my notes. According to the United States of Stress Report 2019 report, roughly 1/3 surveyed report seeing a doctor about a something stress related. 57% report being paralyzed by stress. That's crazy. 51% of females, guys, we don't see our friends in an average week. 59% of baby boomers report never being diagnosed with a mental health issue, yet 52% of Gen X's have been. Now, could that be because there are just more diagnoses these days? Could be, but could be a lot of things combined. I don't know. I haven't seen the underlying details to that one. Over 1/3 surveyed report that work is a regular source of stress. 52% report financial stress, and 47%, especially females, take it out on themselves. That's no good. No good. It's no good. I'm Italian. No good. So listen, keeping your your mind calm, your mental hygiene in order. That's going to be really important, especially as you go through this process of trying to figure out what's wrong, the stress related to just the isolation and the confusion and the frustration and the desperation. And listen, if you've got supportive relationships, fantastic. If you don't, if you've got negative relationships or unsupportive relationships, you gotta reconsider those, folks, because You don't need people saying, and this is just from my own experience. I did have people back in the day when I was going through this between 2003 and 2005. Um, it's all in your head. You don't want to heal. What's the matter with you? Well, try hard. You don't need that. So, what can you do to help with your keeping your mind calm? Well, obviously, meditation is great. One of my faves. And when I was living in California, I managed a team. In one of the jobs earlier in my career, and I had them every hour on the hour. That was their 5 minutes to reset their mind. Now, one guy went outside the building and did a primal scream in the back. Um, but some just like turned away from the computer and just closed their eyes and meditated for 5 minutes. Others did jumping jacks. I had someone just doing squats. Like, though, that was your 5 minutes to step away from the computer and do whatever you need to do. So I would encourage, if you can do a 5-minute reset every hour on the hour to meditate, keep this calm. When our mind is calm, guys, we have a way better chance of healing in our body, healing optimally. So try to keep this as calm as possible. If that is just closing your eyes and breathing, that's awesome. If you prefer to think of the ocean, that works. Whatever it is that works for you, what's resonant in your mind and body, okay? Yoga is a really good approach. Now, I know some of us, we're not in a place where we can do a lot of yoga, and that's fine. If you want to just do, child's pose for a while, whatever, just keep it real simple. Or there's a lot of really good yoga therapists out there that might have some particular expertise in this. So you might want to seek some of them out. Tapping. I don't know if you guys ever done tapping. I've been doing tapping for like 20 years, and it's so useful. And there's a lot of tapping practitioners out there. It's a really good approach to stress release. Sometimes I'll be like, if I'm stressful traffic, I'll just start tapping. I don't care who's watching me, but it's a really good approach. So those are just some things. There's some wonderful plant adaptogens out there as well. And another thing that I do, and if you don't do it already, I have some, well, depending on where I've lived in the past, I either had a room, an entire room, or an area in a room where I could just go and sit, and that was my space. And I would have, typically I'll have like a fountain or more than one fountain. I'll have like a pretty plant, and a live plant, preferably, maybe a little statue, and I would make it as pleasant and as peaceful as can be. I'd have a source for some calming music, so that when I step into that space, I'm like, ah. So we're going to talk a lot more about this. I've got a lot of tricks in my toolkit, or tools in my toolkit, to help you keep this calm in order to heal the body, and we'll go through them in future videos. Sorry this one's so long. If you have anything to post, any questions you have, please feel free. We are here for you, and we look forward to interaction. Until next time, take care here, and all over. See ya.